Get in some more queries now. We have Megha who calls us from New Delhi with a question. She has investments in Karur Vysya Bank. Hi Megha.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
I had my query on Karur Vysya Bank. I have 300 shares bought at a price of 123.5 and I'm holding it since 1 year. So I want to know, when can I reach the stage to get profits in this? How long would that take?
Okay, so Megha's buy price is 123. Megha, how long can you hold it for? Do you have any goal?
To be very honest, I had bought it for a short-term period of 3 months. Okay. But then my stop loss triggered and I did not sell it that time, and I'm holding it now for a year. Oh. But I don't want to book losses. I can keep it for a longer time if it has the probability of getting some profits.
Okay, well, Megha's query also gives the importance of stop losses and maintaining those levels and discipline. But Prakash, what would you recommend?
Before I give a call, I must tell her that stop loss is essential. You kept a stop loss and didn't want it to trigger because you don't want to accept a loss. So why have a stop loss? In fact, I would say that before you try to make money, you have to learn to lose money. Unless you learn to lose money, you can never make money. Please take this as a tip. You have to accept a loss. Otherwise, you will continue to lose money. The stock that you bought at 123 near the highs, now then it saw a low closer to 80. You wanted to hold for 3 months. You held for more than a year now. Now continue holding it. May see an up move. But 123 is too much to ask for. So if you want, you can add here. But what you add, sell, exit around 100 zones. Perhaps your cost will come down. But 123 is a long haul. May have to wait for a long time. But I think 180 is a strong support zone to work with. It's not breaking.
All right, that's the view coming in on Karur Vysya Bank. Just keep an eye out on the markets. The Sensex as well as the Nifty have now slipped back again into the red. And the big culprits right now are from all across actually. We have Tech Mahindra, which is at the low point of the day. A sharp knock seen on Tech Mahindra. Along with that, we have Maruti as well, which is currently trading at the low point of the day. We've seen a knock come by on ICICI Bank and index heavyweight Reliance too. That one should come up for you off the highs of the day. So across the board selling. In fact, even Yes Bank, which was moving higher earlier from the lows, has now come off the highs. So Reliance, along with all the other companies, Tech Mahindra, Maruti and Wipro, as well as Yes Bank, are now taking the Nifty lower, currently lower by about 10 points, both the Nifty and the Sensex. With that, we have another query coming in from Sindhu G, who calls us from Bengaluru. She, I believe, has investments in Lupin. Sindhu, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I have about 610 shares of Lupin, which I kind of bought maybe really long time ago. I am a long-term investor. I am used to holding stocks in for like a decade or so, but this is one investment that has really gone bad. I do track the pharma sector fundamentally, and thanks to Ekta too for that matter. The only problem is I'm really scared to put in more money into this stock. I really don't know how to kind of get my stock price down because it's really high. It's around 1,800 or so. I already have 610 shares. It's a dead investment already sitting on no return on my capital. So I'm really worried. I would really, kind of need some technical help. Basically, if there is something that I can do to kind of get my costs down. I'm ready to hold it in for a long time. I have no issues with holding periods, basically.
I think that's,
kindly help me with that.
I think that's the key point, that, you know, Sindhu is ready to hold it for a period of time, because one particular piece of news has actually driven Lupin lower, which is obviously the Goa foray, the Goa warning letter, and the Pithampur 2 Unit 2 warning letter. But whether or not they manage to clear it this year would be actually very important, because they have a couple of products which are lined up. So maybe the US portfolio should probably start picking up soon enough. But I just want Mayuresh's thoughts on this. Mayuresh, do you think that it makes sense to hold a company such as Lupin? It's an ex-Nifty company. It has assets on its books. It's, you know, forging ahead when it comes to R&D. Do you think that it could probably recover to levels of 1,800 once maybe they clear that whole USFT issue that they have?
So again, I think 2 points before I give a recommendation on the stock. A, I think the investor is really prudent in having a long-term strategy. And second, I think she's absolutely right. I think you're the best person when it comes to pharma. So when it comes to Lupin in particular now, I think The kind of the apprehensions that the street had, and you're absolutely right in terms of Goa plant when the resolutions will come through, the higher R&D expenditure in terms of creating a complex generic product pipeline, along with expectations of the branded products actually compensating for the lower than expected US sales, because that's almost 38% of their overall top line. A couple of products were marketed in the quarter gone by which had a huge dent on their EBITDA margins at 13.9%, but the management still remains extremely sanguine in terms of an 18 to 20% margin kind of pipeline. Again, I think in terms of pipelines, I think 1 FDA drugs in the pipeline, 39 FTF, so that's a strong pipeline that Lupin possesses. There might be softness as far as the margins are concerned. There might be softness in the US business, but a large element in terms of the product launches as they start coming through the next few quarters and as margins start normalizing should start reflecting positively on earnings. So since he is a long-term investor, I think my recommendation is to hold on to this.
Right, she's a long-term investor, wants to hold on, but also seeking some technical advice. Prakash, as far as Lupin is concerned, she bought it at 1800, wants to hold it for the long term, 800 rupees. Do you think this is a good place to average, or maybe another lower level can come, or maybe just start averaging?
I would say it is into a sell mode on a higher time frame basis, which basically means there is some more downside to be seen. She wants to hold for long term, very good, excellent. One place to add would be once it crosses 1000. And once it crosses 1000, the resistance is at 1400 zones. What she adds at 1000 exits at 1400. Now, should she add on the way down is your question. The answer is yes, in a SIP mode. You add into it and continue holding it every month or every 15 days. Just don't worry. It should, you will make money in this. But 1400 is a stiff resistance zone to work with. So what you add, you exit 1400.
Okay, all right. Quite a strategy which is coming in there.
It's like a prescription, you know, every month you keep having it as against.
Yes. I mean, I think 12 months, in 12 months it's fallen only 6% odd. Majority of the fall had taken place, I think, in 2017.
I'd like to add here one more. I've been wanting to tell you for the last 3 days. Someone I met on Thursday night. Very appreciative of you.
Thank you.
All right, so
thanks, Prakash.
Okay, from Sindhu, Mayuresh, Prakash, all of
someone
them
told
have
me Thursday night, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay, so our lunch is sorted basically. A lot of our meals are sorted. Capital goods sort of stocks from the F&O space, they're selling off. So we have NCC Limited, about a 3% cut from the highs currently, and most of them coming by just in the last few minutes. So NCC Limited should come up for you on your screen. Along with that, we have IRB Infra and Shrey Infra, all of them not doing too well. So IRB Infra also corrected about 2.5% from the highs. Most of the cuts coming by in just the last 5-10 minutes. And Shrey Infra. Along with that, we have HCC, a 13 rupee stock, fairly volatile, seeing a bit of a knock. And PVR and Inox, both those stocks are moving higher as we speak. Perhaps it's the Friday effect. Perhaps the movies that are releasing, the movie that released last week, we had Simba doing good on at the box office. So all these stocks have now moved to the high point of the day. With that, we move on to perhaps our last query of the day. We have V. Swaminathan, who writes to us from Chennai. She holds about 250 shares of Tata Motors DVR at 257 for the last 1 year. She's a long-term investor, wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, Prakash, you know, this is a question which has plagued everyone who's invested in a couple of these nifty stocks. The first one being Yes Bank, and the second one being Tata Motors and Tata Motors DVR, of course.
Yeah.
She's lost a fair amount of money, 42,000 rupees. What would you say?
See, I have seen Tata Motors chart. It is weak chart, but Tata Motors has a very strong support zone at 148. I don't think it's breaking there. If the place is just right in a weak chart for a bounce back. If Tata Motors bounces back, so will Tata Motors DVR. It's so stretched on a higher term time basis. I don't think it can go much lower from here. Hold on. Why book loss here? If you wanted to book loss, earlier was the place, not now. So I wouldn't book loss here. Would I add? Yes, I would. I'm an aggressive trader, I would take a chance extra. So what? Risk here is limited for the addition. Originally you're holding it, so continue holding it.
All right, can add more at these levels, and Prakash is thumping the table on that note. So aggressive trader, that's what he says. Risk on the downside is limited. Tata Motors may move higher, but if Tata Motors does move higher, Tata Motors DVR will move higher too. On that note, we will thank both Prakash as well as Mayuresh for stopping by and answering all the queries for our viewers. And we end with the fact that the market is absolutely flat, fairly volatile. The mid-cap index outperforming and the Nifty Bank up about 0.6%.